For decades, one of the main goals of white nationalists has been to overthrow the US government, but also to undermine democratic practices, because they care about supremacy, they don't care about democracy. The larger trend that's happened in white nationalism over the last 4 years is that they've drastically expanded. So they've infiltrated a number of far right or even just conservative social media spaces. And so what I've seen since the election is that basically anywhere where these conversations are taking place among far-right actors or white nationalists, one response is that they believe that the election was stolen. What is scary about this response is that it really feeds into this broader goal of undermining democracy. I mean, any transition between presidents, is a potential place for instability. And long-term trends show that there's more anti-governmental violence and activity under Democratic administrations than under Republican administrations. There's a lot of distrust of the government and any kind of governmental regulations. And so given that Democratic administrations are typically use the government for more regulation, there's often some of that is feared by far-right actors as an attack on them or a potential attack on their liberty. There is a broad, coordinated network of far-right actors, including white supremacists, that oppose the government, that want to see either the government destabilized or overturned, who I think are ready to act in coordinated ways. Even under the Trump administration, Homeland Security has, and the FBI have made it very clear that the biggest violent extremist threat comes from the far right in the United States. Yet most of our the focus of intelligence is not on far right activity. There needs to be more of an effort from the intelligence community because so much of this movement is related to domestic terrorism. The social media companies really provided a megaphone for these movements to reach a much broader audience. And I think we're seeing the fruit of that right now. Recently, all of the major social media companies have worked to crack down on, hate groups, QAnon, misinformation. But what that's also resulting in is more of a migration of the far right, including the much bigger coalition that they've been able to build through social media, into new formats. Some foundational things that are important are defending our democratic institutions. So from a local and being, for people who actually support multiracial democracy, to be involved in politics and to, protect voter rights. These democratic institutions are really helpful actually in countering a lot of these movements. And they're just, social media companies need to take more responsibility for the monster that they help to create.
Calm down.